Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from me, for you. This time it will be the second part on the topic of intonation and how to practice intonation on the violin. There are some things I have to add to the topic of intonation. In the first video we talked about slow practice, practicing intonation without vibrato, chromatic scales, comparing with open strings and the hand frame. In this video I will go deeper into the hand frame theme. Let's start with the hand frame. One practice I have to add to this is artificial harmonics. This is quite an advanced exercise, but it's not as difficult as you would think at first. Artificial harmonic means that there's one finger standing on the string, and with the fourth finger in the normal position, a fourth away, we want to play a harmonic or flageolet. First finger presses the string down, and the fourth finger just slightly touches the string. We can now move this grip It sounds a little bit like a flute or like whistling. If you make this artificial harmonic with the first and the fourth finger, you have to stay in your hand frame completely. If you move out of your hand frame, it will sound like this if you are too high, and like this if you are too low with the fourth finger. When the fourth finger is in the right position, you will get a very clear harmonic or flageolet. So this is a good exercise. You can play scales with artificial harmonics to get your hand in a better shape, in a better frame between the first and the fourth finger. The second thing I wanted to add, and which is very important, you have to play with other instruments, preferably other instruments who are already in tune, like the piano, if the piano is in tune, of course. Another good exercise is to play with play-alongs. Keep in mind how you tune for the play-along. Also, it is very important to, when you correct intonation, to always play back and forth. And don't correct too much. You want the finger to be in place in the second he falls on the string as quickly as possible. This means if we play first finger E on the D string and then second finger F sharp on the D string, and let's say I place it too high, then it's better to play back and forth and try to correct the intonation than to do this. Because if you do this, sliding the finger down while you play, then you actually learn exactly this. You practice to place the finger too high and then correcting it. But you want to be able to, in the first place it correctly. If you hear that your second finger, your F sharp in this case, is too high, then you go back to the first finger and place the second finger a little bit lower and try if it is better. And always keep in mind, don't use vibrato when you do this kind of exercise. The same thing applies to position changes. When you want to change the position, let's say from the B natural to the F sharp on the A string, you want to be able to hit the note on the spot. And not correcting too much, like this. For example, if you hit the note too high. It's important to be able to correct that fast while you are playing the note. But that should only be the case when you are playing a concert, because then you don't want to play the note back and forth to correct it, but correct it as fast as you can. But in practice, it's quite important to repeat and to correct with every repetition. If you make a position change, a shift, you should try to hit the target as perfectly as you can with the first shot, and then move back to the beginning position and shoot again. But I will make another video especially for shifts, because shifts are a topic on their own entirely. Another thing which can not only develop your intonation but also your ears and your musicality is to listen to as many professional concerts, or if you don't have the possibility to go to a very good concert from a good orchestra with a good soloist, listen to videos or recordings. But the best thing is to actually physically go into a concert and listen to the live sound of a professional orchestra. Because when you then hear the quality of a good intonation, then you will be much more sensitive when you practice at home for your own faults and your own imperfections. And you will have a goal in mind where to go with your sound and with your intonation. Your ear gets calibrated when you listen to a good performance. And the effect is much bigger if you listen to it live than listening to it on maybe headphones or your boxes on your laptop or even your phone. Also, it is more beneficial to go to a live concert because you can listen to the intonation issues which also professionals can have. I have seen world-renowned soloists in concerts which had some small intonation issues. First, it's good to know that intonation is also for them a big issue. And second, it's also helpful to learn from them how they deal with intonation issues. Many people cannot hear it, but we as violinists, we have to train our ears on intonation very, very good. And the better we do it, the better we can play intonation as well. The last thing about intonation, which comes to my mind now, is to practice with a chromatic tuner. This is a small device with a display if the note is too high or too low. You can get it in any music shop and it's very cheap. It's maybe around 10 euros or $15. If you practice with this kind of device, practice very slowly and correct every note you play, so it's in the green spot or in the middle spot. I know that there are chromatic tuners and they are tempered in the equal temperament with the temperament of a piano, for example. We on the violin don't want actually to play in the equal temperament, but for intonation practice it's not so important which temperament you play in, because the most important thing is that you make this small adjustments every note. So here you can now learn how to adjust as quickly as possible and as precise as possible every note. Still, you should, when you practice with an electric tuner, play the notes back and forth to hit the note as best as you can from the spot. With the electric tuner you can play through scales, slow scales, or very slowly through your pieces. Very high notes on the violin. Most electric tuners will have their difficulties because they cannot differentiate between the overtones and the actual bass of the note. That's it for now on the topic of intonation. Make sure to practice very carefully and always keep a kind of alertness while you practice, and never think you are perfect. In the moment you think you are perfect, you start deteriorating in intonation. Try to always be critical with yourself. Never say that others are wrong. Always try to improve your own intonation. Always try to be the master of yourself first. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helps you. Keep practicing. Sometimes practice with the electric tuner if you want. Don't overdo it. Small doses regularly are better than practicing 3 hours and getting really exhausted and wear out your nerves. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you like. See you in the next videos. There will be a lot of interesting stuff coming. For example, I plan a video about stage fright. So if you have some stage fright, which I think every one of us at some point in their career on the violin experience, stay tuned because I learned a lot in my life about stage fright. See you and have fun practicing. Bye bye.